Okay, I'm here with Abra Moore, who is gracing, wonderful artist who is gracing Chicago with 4 nights, actually.
Yes.
2 nights in the suburbs and 2 nights in the city. We already had one great performance from you last night.
Yes.
So how'd everything go?
Oh, it went wonderful. It's a beautiful theater. It's just so nice to be able to have such a wonderful sound system, and to play with the gang, to play with Poi Dog again is always so fun.
When was the last time you performed with them?
Oh gosh, maybe a year ago.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm kind of, the floating member, one of the floating members that, like a little hummingbird, just kind of flit in, flit out.
Well, I mean, definitely you have a very integral part in their sound and stuff, so I'm sure it's a mutually beneficial situation.
It's just special to revisit.
Now, how often do you keep in touch with them?
All the time, yeah.
Okay. Cool. And then what's in store for tonight? Are you doing anything different with the performances? You're breaking things up in a little bit more spontaneous, or is it pretty planned?
It's pretty spontaneous.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of the moment. I have a list of songs that I pull from.
How long of a set are you doing solo?
45 minutes.
45 minutes?
Yeah.
And then a full hour set with Poi Dog Pondering?
I sit in, like I'll step back for a couple tunes, and then I'll, this one, yeah, I know this one. Come sing on it.
Excellent.
And they've got a new record coming out, and so I'm singing on that record. So
I need to definitely schedule something with them soon.
Yes.
Definitely. Now, what actually prompted these shows? I mean, was there like a reunion type theme, or was there a reason for like Thanksgiving? Dates?
I think that Poi Dog has their holiday shows. I think they have every year.
Oh, okay.
It's my guess. As far as me being involved, just good old fun, and hey, come play with us. We're having these shows, and
because you come to Chicago.
I've got a new record.
On the way, came out in June. How's the reception turning out with that? As far as
it's doing great. Yes, sir. It's doing good, for an indie, It's
definitely
pretty well.
As far as
I'm really proud of this record. It's just it's real gentle and easy and beautiful.
I have to say, one of the first things I noticed when I heard the album was
what did you think?
It struck me as one of the most relaxed and comfortably welcome albums to date. As far as it just feels like basically if you're coming into a warm house from the cold and you're just so welcomed and stuff. I mean, that's the feeling your album.
It's gentle. It's just kind of easy.
Like or a comfortable.
It's not really a driver. My past records I've put some drive in, more pop heavier stuff. This was just kind of kind of gentle.
And you were quoted as
pretty
saying,
though, huh?
Yeah, very. Like Sorry is actually
one
of my favorite
That's
tracks.
my favorite too.
I was going to ask, is that going to be like a follow-up single, do you think, to Sugaree?
I don't think so.
No. It has...
It's not really a single. It doesn't really have a, it's too long, and it's kind
as far as the standard single length, I guess.
Yeah, it's not your typical single type of tune.
But there's something about it that really stands out a little.
Just feels good, doesn't it? Just feels good. Yeah, I love just playing it because it just feels good. When I finished the record, I went to Hawaii, and I'm from Hawaii. My whole family's there, so I go every year to visit. And we were driving down this beautiful road, and playing that. I just played that tune, and I was just like, I just felt so good with the scenery, and just felt good.
So it's good to know that that your own music has the same impact at different points of your life too. I mean, obviously they are catalogs of your life at different points, so it's good to know
just
that
captured
you can keep
chapters.
revisiting them. Yeah. Did you approach this album any differently from previous albums as far as the writing it or the recording of it?
Nothing intentionally, just I think I'm approaching it differently because I'm naturally evolving and just getting closer to my true potential, and so it's different, meaning I'm forever evolving and changing, so, but differently as far as, not really.
Okay.
Pretty much the same essence of Abra ribbons through all my work.
As far as stringing the songs, you mean? Or,
yeah.
Okay.
Just
That was the other
how I
thing.
approach it and how I capture.
Is there a common theme that you try to put in your albums as far as like an overall mood that you want to capture, or is it or a common theme and subject matter that you want to try and?
I'm just, if I can capture, if I can catch that initial inspiration, as a writer, you have these thoughts or you see something, and so I'm getting better and more disciplined at catching those moments.
Okay.
And the big challenge is capturing them and then realizing them. You know what I mean?
Do you do a lot of recording of just like ramblings on the guitar?
Yeah, with
piano?
handhelds. You know what I mean? Just capturing ideas. So
Okay.
I feel like I as far as my process of just being able to capture moments and then getting it to the studio and realizing it. That's the big challenge as an artist.
I mean, one of the things I was thinking yesterday as I was going through some of these questions is, they always say musicians, sometimes have to sort of seek out their muse or whatever in some degrees, as far as trying to find that creative place for them. And in some ways, you almost seem like a sort of living embodiment of a muse, as it were, because you're so in tune with yourself and with being able to pull that out into the music. I mean, that's to me what a gifted musician is really all about. I mean, you could look at the technical aspects of music, but then there's some emotion, I think, that is taken out of the equation there. But when you're able to pull who you really are out of yourself and pour it into music, I think that's just amazing, and I think that you really do that effectively and wonderfully.
Thanks. I'm just forever evolving and learning about my process. Everybody's different, you know what I mean? And learning how to get to my source better and clearer. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And through just life and growth and experience and development and maturity and just learning to tap into my source and learning how to do it. Or just learning more about myself. And that way, not learning about what it is, what that is, that as far as what it is, everyone has an outlet, a creative expression, a photographer, a writer, a mother, a rearer, their gift, their thing, mm-hmm. their purpose, you know what I mean? And for some reason, I connect to creatively through music and song. That's my creative expression. So throughout my journey on this path that has linked me, I guess, because my father was a painter and an artist. So it's just in my genetic makeup. And I grew up in that type of environment, a very creative environment. So I just learning about myself and how to tap into that source and easier and clearer. You
definitely,
know what I mean?
we're all on.
Does that make sense?
We're all on a continual journey of discovery. I mean,
yeah.
every day we're thrown with adversity, and it's how we deal with that and how we integrate that into our lives that makes us who we are, and
right.
And then how we pull that out of ourselves
Right.
and shine it out toward others.
Right. And how I, keep my muse strong and protected by learning about how to keep my foundation grounded and balanced and full and stimulated, and you know what I mean, keeping my ears open, listening, and all these facets that keep it grounded.
Now, what in the 10 plus years would you say you have been able to like?
I look young, huh?
Definitely.
No.
But what, as far as like 10 plus years that you've been going at this, what would you say are some of the important things that you've learned, or things that you found to be valuable information that has strengthened you?
I think just, again, redundantly learning about myself.
Okay.
What have I learned in the industry? Or the business side of it? Or
I mean, that's certainly the side that is sometimes, I think, less discussed, It's easy to grab a guitar or whatever and either learn a few chords or whatever and call yourself a musician, but it's so rarely talked about the legal aspects or the labels. I mean, you've had a lot of dealings.
Well, I've learned that business is business, and creative expression and artistic expression is that. They're different. And I've learned to not take it personally.
Okay.
And I've learned that there are no victims. It's a choice to choose to get involved with the industry.
True.
But if you do it when you're 19, you don't know, you know what I mean? But still, it's a journey, and you're learning, you know what I mean? And so I've learned to not take it personally. Business is, in any business is business, and this is your art, and you can't mix the two. It's not my fault that the records aren't, or blah, 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 or whatever's,
I mean,
whatever
the music industry is a very volatile
bad
situation.
that's happened. Yeah, it's what it is, the nature of the beast.
I mean, even if you have the most perfect album that has ever been made in the entire world, the industry could take a turn for the worse, or everything could decide to go digital, and suddenly sales could plummet in one area and peak in another. I mean, I don't understand how music analysts can really sit there and comfortably say that this is the way the industry is going to go, and feel confident about that, because I think there's just way too many factors involved. But kind of along those lines, since a lot of our focus is geared toward younger, up-and-coming musicians, what other advice would you have to offer?
Well, I've learned also the value of detachment, the true meaning of detachment within the industry, as far as just being able to really recognize not taking it personally, So what advice do I have for a young, upcoming artist? Number one is to really be conscious of business is business, your creative expression is that, and to try not to mix the two, because the creative expression, the outlet, that's personal and it's close to your heart. And I've seen a lot of people become bitter and shut down, you know what I mean, because of being wounded.
Yeah. I mean, there's mention, I don't know if this is a difficult subject for you or not, but there was a thing I read yesterday about the No Fear album, that you could have taken that situation in a bad way and just walked away from the whole industry.
What an amazing opportunity that was to work with Clive, and what a gift that was to have someone who is such a strong part in the industry to seek me out and to believe in me and to believe in my gift and my creative expression and to want to support and help. That I'm grateful for and will always forever be grateful for a team of people that want to support, that believe in me and support what I do and want to help me. Everyone's just trying to help, you know. So it's an opportunity, and I'm able to see that. So as far as, it's not like, you know, oh, major labels, ooh, bad. It's a business, it's an industry. Wow, I was fortunate to have had the opportunity to do it, and I learned a lot from it, and there's no what ifs.
Yeah.
I've pretty much been in the center of the industry. I know what the lifestyle is. I've done the red carpets and, you know, got nominated for a Grammy. I've tasted what success is, or the illusion of
what most
what
people
it is.
idealize
Wow,
it to be.
what, you know, the illusion of success. You're on a major label, and everything's going to be okay now. And just the illusion of being a musician and all of that. So if you know, so yeah, it's all part of my path. It's part of my story, and I sleep really well at night. I'm at peace.
Okay, never mind.
Because I've explored it. I didn't resist. I explored every opportunity and, you know, went, okay, well, that's not quite for me, but that's interesting. You know, okay, well, oh, you're seeing that. Okay, I see. Okay, I'll explore that. Oh, well, that didn't really quite, you know, maybe not, that wasn't the best, but I grew through that, and it grew me towards really learning who I am.
I was going to actually say, I attended a convention earlier in the year that Thomas Dolby had actually spoke at, and he had a similar situation, obviously, in his heyday back in the 80s, being on the major label and stuff. He basically was speaking on the benefits that he's experienced more recently, in managing his career as an independent artist, and the downsides that he went through in his career being on a major label, in terms of he had no idea what his sales were back in the 80s being on a major label. He had no access to information of how the responses were or anything like that, but even, I think it was CD Baby, I think he said, allowed him to direct access to his account. He knew up to the minute basically what sales were happening, you know. So he's...
I don't need to know that. But yeah, that's good
for
some people.
Performers that definitely want to take...
be in control.
Be at least more, I guess, attuned.
Hands-on.
Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, it was quite interesting to hear a similar situation like that.
Yeah, I'm a poster child for everything that can go wrong in the industry and everything that can happen in the industry. I've experienced it. I've experienced the highs and things when they're working and they're clicking, and it's, you know, and I've experienced that, and I've experienced the other. So it's kind of it feels good. I mean, it feels good in the sense that I'm wiser for it. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Are you hearing me right? There's no like denial of anything. It just is what it is. It just happened to be the way it went down. So I could, you know.
I mean, to go in...
I'm at peace with what I do, and I feel strong, and I'm proud of it, but that's out of my control after that.
True.
So it's not, you know, it can crash and burn, but it's like, well, that was, you know, that's what happens sometimes.
True. Everybody envisions differently success, and that's actually the idea of what I wanted to find out for you. Like, is your level of where, are you at the point where you consider yourself successful and comfortable, or do you feel that there's points where you need to grow to attain certain levels yet?
Gosh, I'm going to forever be growing towards connecting to the true source and truly feeling free. That's all our journey, right? But what was your question?
What do you envision your level of success to be as far as...
I feel successful because I'm learning what I need and what works for me. Like 5 years ago, I was in the belly of a bus, and that's all I was doing was traveling and touring. And it wasn't fulfilling enough. Something was missing. I wasn't happy. And the shows were good, and I was doing what I love and everything, but there was something missing, and it's about learning about what feeds my muse and feeds me and what's going to work for me.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, okay, I need to have more home life. I want to groom dogs. It's something I've always done. Work with animals.
Okay.
So I'm finding things that balance me, and so I'm feeling successful because I'm happy, because
I mean, you've got a lot to be proud of.
Visualizing like what's going to make me feel at peace, learning about who I am.
Mm-hmm.
So learning about who I am, it's like, okay, this isn't working, being on the road all the time. It's not good for me. I get real skinny, and it's not good for my nervous system. I've been doing it for 15 years. Okay, so, I need to make a change, so I'm feeling successful because I'm found a wonderful label, a nice indie where there's not a lot of pressure, and I'm able to make my records. I'm able to stay home and do something that I love, working with animals, and then I flit out and go play shows, and so it all works. And it's all feeding me, and it's a balance.
That's what I was going to ask.
I'm a Gemini, so I need a lot of different stuff.
Like how are you doing your tours now? You're just pretty much going out to specific cities and hitting them at specific times?
Yeah, I'm going out with a wonderful guitarist, singer, songwriter, Will Sexton, from Austin, Texas, and it's just really nice. Yeah, we're just little folkers. I mean, who knows what the future brings? I mean, it would be wonderful to be able to support a full band and play in theaters. That would be a great thing to do again. Mm-hmm. But that might not be in my future, and that's okay because I've touched that and I've had that, so I know what it is. So there's no mystery of the what if I did that? Or what if I did this different? Maybe that could have happened. Well, it all happened pretty much. And, maybe it's not happening now. Maybe I'm not playing the theaters like I did or whatever, but it's okay. I'm okay. I'm at peace. That's the most important thing. There's no pining for, I'm not satisfied with. I'm stoked, man. It's all working. I made a great record. Life is good.
Yeah, I mean, you're at a great position in your life where, the world's your oyster and you can pretty much do anything you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I say, I guess in your case, or maybe in everyone's case, the level of success is where you could feel proud about your accomplishments. Maybe that's really what success is all about.
And just feel peace, man. Peace in your choices and peace in your what you do or work or, just in your groove, what works for you, right?
Do you have any questions? Feel free to jump in anytime if you want.
I think you're asking me.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Definitely.
What about the fame thing, being recognized and stuff
Boy,
like that?
before?
How does that affect you?
Not anymore, because I don't really have it as much. But back in the day, about 12 years ago, I guess, or 10 years ago, when I had 4-leaf clover exploding in VH1, and, it was fine. it was, I mean, it was what it was. It was part of that part. So, hanging out in Target, buying my underwear, and people, recognizing me and checking out of the thing, and people recognizing me and all the time. It just became normal. But now, it's nice now because it's not, I can move in my city now in Austin, and I'm totally anonymous. I'm not as recognizable anymore. You can go buy stuff and they don't look at my card. Oh! Because I'm kind of not on the radar as much anymore, which is good. It's fine, It is what it is. Well, I grew up out in Hawaii, right? I was born in California, lost my mom, and then my dad remarried, and we moved out to Hawaii when I was 5. And we lived out in this old cane field worker's house with no electricity. And we finally got a generator so my stepmom could run her stereo. So I grew up, my palate, my palate was completely colored with every kind of, a lot of the American music, as far as everything from Motown to the beat era, Chet Baker. My father was the jazz era standards, Frank Sinatra, Billie Holiday, Charlie Parker. So I grew up, that stuff just went in, all of it. Rolling Stones, Bob Dylan, Joni Mitchell. That stuff went in when I was just in my life. That was the soundscape, soundtrack. So my influences were colored at a young age with a lot of diverse music, and jazz being one of them. It just comes natural to me, and it's one of my loves. And I do it now. That's another thing I do. I sing in separate clubs, and I love it. So one night you'll see me, with my guitar singing my little folk pop alternative songs, and then another night you'll see me all decked in high heels and tights, crooning with a piano upright bass player. And then another day you'll see me grooming a dog and putting bows in her hair. And I'm happy. It works for me.
What was the biggest joy you ever had in playing a show? Which show?
Oh, the biggest thrill was playing with Emmylou Harris. That just comes to mind right away. That's one of the biggest thrills, just because, The Last Waltz, remember that movie? That's rock and roll. That's the epitome of rock and roll history. She's just this angel, beautiful, young. That's the first time I saw her with all these rock and roll guys, and she was just singing. And anyway, she's amazing. So I've just loved her forever. So I think doing a tour with her was pretty special, magical.
So one of the other questions I was going to ask, though, is do you think you would ever release album with like jazz standards or things like that?
Yeah.
Just kind of even an EP
Yeah,
or even digital release?
There's no intentional, okay, I want to make a jazz record. I'm a jazz singer and I'm going to do this. I think I'm going to just hand select some songs that are really close to me that I really connect to and interpret them.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have
like
to be
I
like...
interpret standards.
Like this is
like
my
I wouldn't
new
call
direction.
myself a jazz singer. And that's not I revere the jazz singer, but I just interpret standards and I
think,
sing the heck out of them. I love singing them.
I mean, I think it would be a very important aspect of your career to share on a CD or something with your fans and stuff.
Yeah. Well, on this CD, I wrote a song called You, and that's got a little jazz flavor
True.
to it. I'm singing it, kind of holiday-esque. There's some jazzy feel in this one, but yeah, definitely, it's all doable.
Okay. And then after your shows here in Chicago, what do you have planned after that?
Oh, I have a house I'm building and a house I'm selling. Madness. Have you ever built a house?
Sold one.
Oh my God. Everyone warned me. It's the most stressful thing. You know? It is. So I will be finishing that and hopefully moving into our new house, selling the other one. So taking a little time to do that and go to Hawaii, visit the family. And I'm getting ready to get the record released in Europe on Rounder, so I'll probably be doing some European dates next year.
That was another thing I wanted to ask too, is being that you hit specific cities, I was wondering how you approach your tour in that same fashion. I mean, you're going to ground yourself in a European city and kind of head out to individual cities.
Yeah, I would
from there?
imagine, yeah. It's smaller there, so it's easier.
True. Okay.
Yeah.
Taking it day by day.
Visualizing another record. It'll be time to make another one. Got more songs I'm writing and great ideas, so hopefully I have the opportunity to keep making records.
How about any duets or collaborations do you think you'd ever...
Yeah, I'd love to.
Any performer that you'd like to work with in particular that comes to mind? Or
Well, I'm working with Will Sexton right now, so probably
True.
doing some duet singing with him.
Okay.
He's got one of the most beautiful vibratos. It's a real fragile, broken, honest vibrato. It's really gorgeous. So I love singing with him.
Okay. Well, definitely, I appreciate all your time here this morning, because, you know, I know this is a little bit longer than normal of an interview.
I got extended stay.
Appreciate that very much.
Pushed it to 2.